Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it What to Do with Negative Thoughts? Absolutely nothing. What I mean by that is thoughts, they're not negative nor positive. They're just simply appearances. Appearances that we don't even control. Have you noticed that thoughts just appear for no reason? Well, they will also disappear for no reason if we stop giving them attention. But the moment I label a thought negative, I already gave it attention. Now, I come up with another thought that suggests I should change that thought to a positive one. And all I'm doing with that is feeding the thought process as opposed to simply be. Being allows for the thoughts to just pass by and they have no effect on us. The invitation here is not to control thoughts, but to simply be. In being, thoughts appear and they disappear. Sensations appear and they disappear. Circumstances seem to appear and they also disappear. It's always changing. But we rest as I. See? And this is so simple because you are always being. You can never not be. And when the mind comes up, but I don't know, I got so many thoughts and they seem to be negative, I just said, okay, wait a minute. Thoughts appear. Sometimes the mind seems to be filled with many thoughts, and sometimes it appears as if it's not. But the space in which they seem to appear is the I am that never changes. And this is not theory. This is just a fact. Right now, while you're listening to these words, or while listening seems to be happening, you are. You're resting in the I am. And the invitation is always pointing to that. There's nothing to do, simply be. And you are being right now. You're always being. And when thoughts, sensations, and all these things appear, we're so used to get or to identify with the thoughts, because remember, without realizing, we have learned to identify with the thought, me, individual, and then everything is about me. My things, what I want, what I don't want, what I refuse, what I desire. But all of these are thoughts. Have you noticed that? And yet life happens. I don't always get the things I desire. Most of the time I don't. You know? But the mind keeps thinking I want those things, or I want things to be in a particular way. And yet life is happening. And the suggestion here is not that you cannot have things or have experiences that you would like to have. You can see those fantasies very innocently. If they happen, okay. And if they don't happen, fine too. Because all I know is I am. The mind with thoughts, you know, we convince ourselves that the purpose of life is to pursue things. And what makes life rich is to the acquiring things or going after things or making things happen. That doesn't make life rich. That just makes it very busy. And some people suggest that being busy is a good thing. Because if I'm not busy, I'll be depressed. Or if I'm not busy, life is boring. No. Life is not boring. And depression doesn't come as a result of busyness. It comes as a result of believing your thoughts. If you don't believe your thoughts, you just see how life unfolds. Sometimes there's pleasure, sometimes there's pain, sometimes there's A, sometimes there's B, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot. But I remain as I am. You see, this is what these videos are pointing to. It's not to give up things or the stuff that you may like. You don't have to give up anything. All you have to do is be and watch how life unfolds. The things that are meant for you will happen. The things that are not meant for you will not happen, even when the thoughts suggest you can do, you can fight, you can go after it. But we're not putting the attention on the things that are meant to happen or not. Forget about that. I'm just simply pointing to the fact that I am. And in the I am, you experience the peace that surpasses all understanding, also referred to as happiness. The intention with these videos is for you to be happy, not for you to become. You're not becoming anything. You already are. It's just a reminder, the fact that you are. At the beginning, it may take a while because we're so used to pursuing, thinking that things have to be in a particular way for me to be happy. I have to be positive all the time, and we spend years and years trying to control the mind. And the invitation here is to relax. That's it. Right now, are you not being? Well, the invitation here is just to be, that's all. And when you really come to the realization that thoughts are not controlled by us, that life goes as it goes, and that really becomes crystal clear, you relax. Because life is unfolding. Sometimes there seems to be good days, and sometimes we seem to have bad days. But then you come to the realization that there's no such thing as good days and bad days. Only days, and the thought makes it good or bad. I think, I'm sorry, I don't remember who's the one who said it, that says, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. See, so the bottom line is that nothing is good or bad. There's no positive or negative thoughts, but giving it meaning, that's what thinking would be, makes it so. This is a bad thought. No, it's not a bad thought. It's just a thought. Leave it alone. Don't try to turn it into a positive thought, because now you're engaged in the mind, and now you're lost in the perception. You're lost in the mind game. Just a thought, appears and disappears. If you don't label it, it's just what it is. Last night I was watching on YouTube some of the news about what's going on in the United States, and some of the images were not very pleasant, but they were not negative or positive. They were just images that they were seeing, and I'm not in denial of anything. I'm just pointing that, okay, that's what happened. Can I do something about it? Well, if I could do something about it, life would inspire me to do something about it. If I cannot do anything about it, well, life goes on. But the bottom line is that allowing the thoughts come through is it's like the sky. The sky doesn't complain because this cloud looks like this and this other cloud like that. No, the sky is just being, and clouds appear in it and don't. If you look at this clouds, for example, if I look at a cloud, or should I better say, if I look at the sky and there's many clouds, okay, I can see through the clouds. I may not be able to see the sky, but I know that the sky is there. But instead of being distracted by the clouds, I'm just looking up. And if I see a cloud and I don't like the cloud, and I keep focusing on the cloud, I don't like this cloud. I want this cloud to go away. All the attention is on the cloud, and the cloud will stay there until it's time to go, because the cloud will disappear eventually. But if I keep focusing on the cloud, I'm keep suffering and whatever, and the meaning I'm giving to it, when all I need to do is just simply be, and in the beingness I'm just looking up, not putting the attention on any cloud, just, yeah, they're there, but I'm not giving any attention. And before I even know it, the cloud disappears on its own, and I'm at peace with it. Same with thoughts. If you don't give the attention, they'll disappear on their own. But you're at peace. And the peace is right now. Right now, this is the peace that we're talking about. As you're listening to me, if you're not evaluating, meaning not giving meaning or trying to project on any meaning onto it, or what he's saying doesn't make any sense, I don't believe or agree, it doesn't matter. If you just simply see words coming up and you can understand what they say, but you're not engaging with it, you're at peace with what I'm saying. But if you engage with your interpretation according to your thoughts, a belief system that appears through you, then, well, you might like what I'm saying or you may not. And if you like, you say, I feel okay. And if you don't, you may feel bad about it. Do you think I agreed with the images and the things that I'm seeing happening in the United States? Not at all. But I was not in resistance to it. That was just the images that were appearing on the screen, and that's what was happening. You know, there's compassion there, because that is the consequence of when someone is identified with fear, with thoughts, how things should be, and we want to control things, and we're willing to, you know, well, that's what happens in the human experience. But what you're learning now is to just simply be, so you can rest in beingness, which is what you are always. And now the thoughts appear, images appear, sensations appears, but you remain as you are, and you're at peace, you're happy, and your life unfolds as it will anyway. So we're not the one choosing how it's going to unfold. We're not even the one choosing if we're going to identify with the thoughts or not. I'm aware of that. That's why I said these videos are paradoxical. But act as if you could not identify with thoughts, and maybe you can and maybe you cannot, even though you know that that is not your choice. Well, life is presenting this scenario in which information seems to come through this me, and there seems to be a you who's receiving the information. Okay, let's not make a big deal out of it. Just rejoice in the fact that the information is coming through, so that this seeming you begins to experience that peace that surpasses all understanding, and you can live happy. And well, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.